The Xylar Collective's survey ship, Orion's Eye, drifted silently through the black stretches of uncharted space. Outside the viewport, distant stars sparkled like scattered diamonds across an endless void. Lieutenant Varric adjusted the ship's sensors, trying to pick up the faintest signals in the region. Space had a way of hiding secrets, and Varric had learned that some of the most remarkable discoveries came when one least expected them. "Captain," said Ensign Ryla, her three eyes scanning the holographic display. "There's an anomaly ahead, very faint but unusual. It doesn't match any known craft or natural formation." Captain Thylon leaned forward, his gray-green skin rippling slightly as he squinted at the readings. "Define unusual," he asked. Rayla's claws tapped a few commands and the display zoomed in. A dim blip appeared, almost invisible against the starfield. "It's broadcasting a signal," she said. "Weak but continuous. It's structured, Captain. It seems intentional." Thylon raised an eyebrow, something rare for him. "Intentional? In this part of space? Interesting. Could it be a distress signal?" "Perhaps," Rilla replied. "Or a warning." The word hung in the cabin. The Xylars had encountered countless transmissions over the centuries. Messages from lost civilizations, faint echoes from ships swallowed by black holes, signals that had long outlasted their senders. But a warning, one meant to persist for centuries. That was unusual. Thylon activated the long-range scanner and focused on the anomaly. The ship's AI hummed quietly, translating the faint signal into data patterns. What emerged on the screen puzzled the crew. It was unlike any known language or code in their records. Some patterns resembled mathematical sequences, while others seemed almost musical in tone. "Whatever it is," said Varric, "it wasn't designed for us." This is human." "Human?" Ryla's voice rose in surprise. "Yes," Varric confirmed. "I've seen records of humans before. Their technology. It's unique. This signal carries their signature." Thylon exhaled slowly. Humans. Long thought extinct in this region of space, humanity had been a mystery for the Xylars. Their record spoke of humans as bold, creative, and sometimes unpredictable. Traits that made them both feared and admired across several galaxies. If this was really a human beacon, the crew had stumbled upon something extraordinary. "Prepare a boarding team," Thylon ordered. "We'll approach carefully. Keep shields active. I don't want surprises." Rilla nodded, and Varric began running calculations on the trajectory. As the Orion's Eye moved closer, the anomaly grew clearer. What had appeared as a tiny blip was now recognizable as a derelict spacecraft, drifting silently in the darkness. Its surface was scarred, worn by time and radiation. But the shape was unmistakably human, a sleek design, functional and elegant. With edges shaped for both efficiency and style, the Xylars exchanged glances. There was awe in their eyes, a mix of curiosity and caution. "Distance to docking point?" Thylon asked. 3,000 meters, Varric replied. "Atmospheric readings show no life support functioning." "It's dead, or at least mostly so." Thylon nodded. "Then we board. Carefully, everyone stay alert. We don't know what else might be out here." The boarding team suited up and entered the small transport shuttle. The hum of its engines filled the cabin, echoing in the tense silence. Each Xylar knew the risks. Space could be beautiful, but it could also be lethal, hiding dangers in the most unexpected forms. As the shuttle approached the human ship, the signal grew stronger. It was strange. It wasn't a distress call begging for help. It was deliberate, insistent, almost as if someone or something wanted to be found. The shuttle docked smoothly with the derelict craft. The airlock hissed open, and the boarding team stepped inside. The interior was dark and cold, but the ship's design spoke of care and purpose. Hallways were narrow but efficient, walls lined with panels of unknown materials, blinking softly with residual energy. "Sensors show no life," Varric whispered. "But energy readings? They're odd. Someone, or something, was here, and it's still active in some form." They moved cautiously, weapons ready, though the sense of threat was low. The ship's AI, if it still functioned, had long since been dormant, or so they thought. Then a sound echoed through the corridors. Not a noise of mechanics, but a voice. Clear, calm human speech. "Who approaches?" The Xylars froze. It was a recording, but perfectly timed, perfectly clear. The voice carried authority, wisdom, and a faint urgency. "Identify yourselves," the voice continued. Varric stepped forward. "We are from the Xylar Collective. We mean no harm. We respond to your signal." There was a pause, then the voice resumed, almost as if reading from a prepared message. You have found the beacon. Listen carefully. The warning is true. The danger you sense, it is not of this time nor of this place. Prepare or face annihilation. Humanity cannot intervene, but the message must endure. The words left the team stunned. Danger? Rila asked, her voice trembling slightly. What kind of danger? The AI didn't answer further. Instead, the corridors flickered with holographic projections, maps and diagrams appearing as though the ship itself wanted to communicate visually. The Xylars crowded around, trying to make sense of it. The holograms depicted strange, vast creatures, cosmic predators, enormous beings of energy and matter, moving across star systems, consuming worlds without mercy. Notes in human symbols, partially decoded by the AI translator, suggested humans had studied these predators for centuries, predicting their movements and planning strategies to counter them. Humans were preparing for this? Varric murmured, awe in his tone. They thought ahead, way ahead. Thalen's eyes narrowed. We are not humans. We cannot predict what they did, but we can try to learn, find every record, every log, every data core. Start with the signal. We need the full picture. Rila moved to the bridge area, scanning every panel. Energy signatures flickered faintly as if the ship were waking from a long sleep. The beacon itself pulsed gently, still transmitting its warning into the void. Captain, Rila said, the beacon, it's not just a warning. I think it's a guide. Instructions, perhaps. Humans didn't just want to be found. They wanted whoever finds them to act, to continue their mission in some way. Thalen felt a shiver of excitement. The humans had always been mysterious, their methods sometimes reckless, sometimes brilliant. That they had left a warning and a guide in the depths of space only confirmed what the legends had said. Humans were extraordinary. Varric's sensors detected movement in the shadows of the ship. Not mechanical, not human, but something alive. The readings were inconsistent, almost like a phantom. Captain, Varric said, voice tight with caution. There's something here. It's hiding, but it's real. Thalen raised his hand. We proceed carefully. No sudden moves. This ship is human, but it may still be dangerous. They continued through the corridors, following the holographic guides, uncovering human data cores, medical bays, and even small living quarters frozen in time. Each discovery was a testament to human creativity and resilience. Devices that repaired themselves, tools that could adapt to any environment, and detailed plans for survival against threats the Xylars had never imagined. Finally, they reached the core of the ship. The beacon pulsed steadily here, a glowing sphere suspended in a containment field. Around it were more holograms, diagrams, and recordings. The voice spoke again, clearer this time. You have reached the heart of the warning. What comes next is your choice. Humans cannot intervene, but you can. Think as we thought. Act as we acted. The predator comes. Be ready. Survive. The Xylars exchanged glances, realizing the enormity of what they had discovered. This was more than a relic. It was a test, a message, and a challenge left by a species long gone, or so they had thought. And somewhere in the dark corridors, the faintest trace of energy shifted, watching them, waiting. The ship was alive in a way they did not yet understand. Captain Thalen took a deep breath. Prepare the scans. Record everything. We've found a human beacon, and it's still broadcasting a warning. Whatever it means, we are now part of their message. The beacon pulsed again, sending its warning into the stars, and the Orion's Eyes crew knew that their journey had only just begun. Humanity's ingenuity, preserved across centuries, was about to test them in ways they could never have imagined. The alien crew of the Orion's Eye gathered around the glowing human beacon, its soft pulses filling the dim chamber with light. The holographic projections had faded slightly, but the messages and diagrams remained etched in the minds of every Xylar. Even after decades of exploring the stars, none of them had ever encountered anything quite like this. Ensign Rila studied the beacon closely. Captain, she said, I think this warning is more than a warning. The humans left instructions. Look at these patterns. They aren't random. They form sequences almost like puzzles. Each one leads to another. Captain Thalen nodded slowly, his mind racing. So the beacon isn't just saying danger is coming, it's teaching or guiding. Humanity wanted whoever finds this to understand something important. But what? Varric examined the holographic projections again. He traced his claw across the diagrams, following the flow of information. The signal mentions a predator, he said. A cosmic predator. The humans describe it in detail, its movements, its energy patterns, even its methods of attack. They knew it would come. They studied it for centuries, Rila frowned. It's almost as if they anticipated the galaxy's future. They predicted the threats long before they arrived, but why leave it here instead of fighting it themselves? Thalen shook his head. Perhaps they realized humans alone could not stop it, but they could leave their knowledge, their strategies, and their warnings. It's like a legacy, something that could survive even if they didn't. The crew moved deeper into the ship, following holographic paths that seemed almost alive, guiding them toward areas the humans had designed to be discovered. The corridors were lined with artifacts, tools, machinery, and panels covered in human symbols. Each item was functional, elegant, and designed for maximum efficiency. These humans were brilliant engineers, Varric said, picking up a device no bigger than his claw. Look at this. It's a power source, but it adapts to any environment. Heat, cold, vacuum, or high radiation, it adjusts itself automatically. Ryla's 3 eyes widened. And this, she said, pointing to a small sphere, appears to be a defensive device. It can detect multiple threats and create energy shields around itself and others. It's not just technology, it's thinking, adaptive technology. The AI of the human ship suddenly came to life again, its voice calm, clear, and human. You are observing my creator's work. Every device, every projection, every calculation is part of the warning. They foresaw that one day, someone would find this beacon. Your actions will determine the outcome. Thalen stepped closer. AI, clarify. What outcome? The AI paused for a moment as if measuring the crew's understanding. Then it spoke again. The predator approaches. It will consume anything in its path. Humans cannot intervene directly. They relied on intelligence, strategy, and adaptability to delay it. Now others may continue their work. You must learn from the beacon. Act wisely. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. A predator capable of destroying worlds sounded terrifying, even for seasoned Xylar explorers. Yet the beacon radiated confidence, as though humans had left behind the knowledge needed to face it. Rila leaned over a holographic console. Captain, there's more. Look at these sequences. They describe tactics, methods to predict movement, set traps, and even manipulate energy fields. Humans, they combined logic with intuition. They didn't just calculate, they imagined possibilities. Varric shook his head in amazement. We've studied thousands of species, yet humans were different. They anticipated danger with creativity, not just strategy. That's why the predator terrified them, and yet they prepared. They left their knowledge for anyone capable of understanding it. The team moved into a larger chamber where the ship's records were stored. Here, hundreds of holographic recordings appeared, each showing humans interacting with technology, other species, and simulated threats. The aliens watched in awe as humans demonstrated problem-solving skills that seemed impossible. In one simulation, a human strategist used a series of simple energy nodes to trap a massive predator in a controlled field, predicting every possible move before it even occurred. In another, humans negotiated with an alien species by anticipating their reasoning, turning a potential conflict into an alliance. They were fearless, Rila whispered, not reckless but confident in their ability to think and adapt. Thalen's mind raced. And now we must use their lessons. If the predator is really approaching, then the beacon isn't just history. It's a manual for survival. Every human decision recorded here is a lesson. Varric examined another projection. Captain, look at this one. Humans encoded messages within patterns of light and sound. It's more than instructions, it's guidance for thought. They wanted anyone who discovered this to think the way humans think, to anticipate, to adapt, to improvise. The AI spoke again, its voice calm but urgent. You must understand that survival is not only physical. The predator operates in ways that logic alone cannot predict. Creativity, intuition, and cooperation are required. The beacon contains the knowledge. You must apply it, Rila frowned. Captain, I think the beacon also includes warnings about failure. There are sequences here that describe what happens if the tactics aren't followed. Entire systems destroyed, species wiped out. The humans, they prepared for the worst. Thalen's hand rested on the console. It's a test, he said quietly. The beacon isn't just information, it's a challenge. Humans left it for anyone capable of rising to the occasion. It's a puzzle and the reward is survival. Suddenly, Varric's sensors picked up an anomaly. Captain, movement. It's faint, but it's coming from the lower decks. Not mechanical. Something alive, or once alive. It's avoiding our scanners, but it's here. Thalen's tail twitched. We proceed cautiously. This ship may still contain surprises. Prepare for anything. As the team descended to the lower decks, the corridors twisted and turned in ways that seemed almost intentional, as if the ship itself wanted to test them. Energy fields flickered in patterns, holograms shifted, and the very walls seemed alive with encoded instructions. Rila paused near a console. Captain, there's a subroutine here. It's interactive. The AI is asking questions, testing our reasoning. Each choice affects the sequence of projections and data we receive. It's like a lesson wrapped in a puzzle. Thalen nodded. Humans designed this beacon to teach, to prepare, and to judge readiness. Every action we take is part of the message. We must think carefully, yet act decisively. Hours passed as the Xylers moved through the ship. Each chamber revealed more secrets, tools that could manipulate energy, devices that healed themselves, and holograms of humans discussing tactics, ethics, and morality. It became clear that the beacon wasn't just about survival. It was about understanding human thought itself. Finally, they reached the main control hub, where the beacon's pulses were strongest. The AI's voice echoed through the chamber. You are learning. The Predator approaches. Apply what you have discovered. Test your creativity. Observe carefully. Adapt quickly. Humans could not intervene, but their guidance endures. Rila stepped closer to the beacon. Captain, the warning. It's not meant to scare us. It's a call to action. Humans left a map of knowledge, not of danger. They trusted us, or whoever finds this, to continue their work. To survive and perhaps to protect others. Thalen placed a hand on the console. Then we accept the challenge. The beacon has guided us this far. We will continue the lesson and we will face whatever is coming. Humanity left us a gift and we will honor it. At that moment, the faint energy movement Varric had detected earlier shifted again. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it made the team pause. The ship seemed aware of their presence, aware of their actions. The AI spoke one final time before falling silent for a moment. The Predator moves closer. The beacon has prepared you. Now your decisions will shape what comes next. Think as humans would, act as humans acted, and the galaxy may yet be saved. The crew stood in awe, realizing the full weight of the discovery. They had found not just a warning, but a legacy, a blueprint for survival crafted by a species that had long fascinated, puzzled, and inspired others. The humans had thought beyond time itself, leaving guidance that could endure centuries. Captain Thalen exhaled slowly. Prepare the data for analysis, he ordered. We need to understand every instruction, every sequence. This is our responsibility now. Humanity has given us a gift, and we must ensure it does not go to waste. The beacon pulsed steadily, its soft light casting long shadows through the control hub. Outside, the stars remained indifferent, but inside the ship, the pulse of human ingenuity continued to shine, a faint but unwavering warning to the galaxy. Prepare, adapt, survive. And somewhere in the darkness of the lower decks, the subtle trace of movement continued, observing, waiting, as if the ship itself had more lessons yet to reveal. Part 3. Human Ingenuity Revealed. The Xylar crew moved cautiously through the heart of the human ship. Each step seemed to echo into the silence, the dim light from the beacon illuminating corridors that had not been touched for centuries. The pulse of the beacon was steady, almost like a heartbeat guiding them forward with a quiet insistence. Ensign Rila stopped to examine a wall panel. Captain, she said, look at this. It's a simulation room. The humans left interactive holograms of their strategies. We can observe and learn from them directly. Captain Thalen nodded. Then we study. Every detail might be crucial. If the predator the beacon warned us about is real, understanding humans could save us. The crew entered a large chamber. Holographic projections filled the room, showing scenes of humans engaging in tactical simulations. Massive starships maneuvered against invisible foes. Energy shields glowed with precision, and coordinated movements predicted threats with uncanny accuracy. Varric's eyes widened. They didn't just fight, they anticipated. Every move, every decision was planned, but they allowed room for improvisation. Their creativity was part of the strategy. Rila leaned closer to one projection, which displayed a human standing before a massive, swirling energy anomaly. Look at this. The humans are using their environment as a tool. They manipulate energy, gravity, even matter in ways we never imagined. They think beyond the obvious. Thalen studied the holograms carefully. This is why humans were so remarkable. Other species rely on strength, technology, or sheer numbers. Humans combine logic, intuition, and adaptability. They see possibilities others miss. The AI's voice filled the chamber. You're observing my creator's genius. Humanity survived in hostile conditions by predicting patterns, analyzing risks, and imagining solutions that seemed impossible. Their legacy is not only in technology but in thinking. Learn it and apply it. Varric studied a projection showing humans working together in confined space stations under extreme conditions. Notice their cooperation. They anticipate each other's actions. Even when threatened or under stress, they adapt quickly, trust each other, and make decisions efficiently. That is why humans could overcome what seemed unbeatable. Rila touched another hologram. They even trained themselves for the unknown. Every scenario is different, yet they respond creatively every time. This is extraordinary. As they explored deeper, the ship's AI guided them to another chamber. Here, the walls were lined with devices that had been designed to survive centuries. Some were energy manipulators, able to channel and redirect power. Others were tools that repaired themselves, learning from damage and adapting their functionality. "Captain," Rila said, "these devices are clever. They don't just follow instructions, they analyze, adjust, and improve. Humanity left machines that could think in their own way, inspired by human thought." Thalen's mind raced. The beacon was designed for more than warning. Humans left lessons on problem-solving, decision-making, and innovation. If we can master even part of what they taught, we can prepare for the predator. Suddenly, Varric's sensors detected movement again. This time it was stronger, more defined. Something or someone was in the lower decks, deliberately avoiding detection. "Captain," Varric said, "there's definitely life, or energy here. It's not human, not mechanical, but it's intelligent." Thalen narrowed his eyes. "We continue slowly, no sudden moves. If the ship itself is alive, it may be testing us, just as the beacon instructed. Observation is part of the lesson." The AI spoke again. "You are ready for the next stage. Observe the unknown, adapt your actions, and solve the challenges presented." Human ingenuity was not only in technology but in facing the unexpected. They descended into a chamber filled with a strange energy field. The holograms here were more interactive, requiring the crew to solve puzzles that mimicked threats humans had faced long ago. Energy streams moved unpredictably, forcing them to think quickly and creatively. Rila focused, tracing paths with her claws. "Captain, this isn't just a test of intellect. It's teaching us flexibility. Humans expected chaos and prepared ways to navigate it." Varric adjusted energy projections. "Every solution they left is layered. There's no single correct answer. They wanted anyone who discovered this to adapt and improvise, not just follow instructions blindly." Thalen observed carefully. This is why humans were feared and respected. Their strength wasn't only in technology but in their thinking. They turned obstacles into opportunities. Hours passed as they worked through each simulation, learning patterns and observing outcomes. Slowly, the crew began to understand the depth of the human legacy. The beacon was more than a warning. It was a comprehensive guide to survival, strategy, and adaptability. In the next chamber, they found a human archive detailing encounters with other civilizations and cosmic phenomena. Recorded messages described humans negotiating alliances, forming treaties, and preparing for potential threats, all with a mix of logic, creativity, and moral consideration. Rila studied the archives. "Captain, humanity didn't just think about survival for themselves. They thought about the galaxy, about allies, about cooperation. They prepared not for conquest but for preservation." Thalen nodded. "That is the essence of their wisdom. Humans understood that strength alone was not enough. Intelligence, strategy, and adaptability ensured survival and protection for others." Suddenly, the energy readings spiked. The previously subtle presence Varric had detected grew stronger. Moving closer, the AI's voice cut through the tension. "The predator draws near. Observation, adaptation, and ingenuity will determine your path. Humans prepared for this moment long before it arrived. Apply their lessons." Varric's sensors revealed a shimmering form, partially invisible, weaving through the lower decks. It was intelligent and aware, but its purpose was unclear. The crew paused, uncertainty and caution etched on every face. "Whatever it is," Thalen said quietly, "we follow the beacon's guidance. Observe, think creatively, adapt. That is how humans survived, and that is how we survive now." The crew carefully navigated the chamber, using the holographic lessons and adaptive tools humans had left behind. Every step became a practical application of the human strategies they were learning. The energy beings seemed to respond, shifting around them as if aware of their comprehension of the lessons. Rila whispered, "Captain, the ship itself. It's teaching us. Every movement, every interaction. It responds to our understanding. It's almost alive in its intelligence, like a human mind preserved in machinery and energy." Thalen placed a hand on the control panel, feeling the faint vibrations of the beacon. Yes, humanity left more than technology. They left a thought process, a way of seeing the universe and solving impossible problems. That is why this beacon still matters. Hours turned into cycles as they explored more chambers, uncovering intricate systems, hidden tools, and advanced energy manipulation devices. Each discovery reinforced the idea that humans had been pioneers of thought, using creativity and intuition as much as logic to survive challenges far greater than themselves. Finally, they reached a chamber labeled in human symbols that the AI translated as final guidance. Holograms showed humans analyzing the predator's behavior, predicting movements and creating layered defense strategies. "Captain," Rila said, awe in her voice, "this is the culmination of all their work. They anticipated everything they could, prepared for the impossible, and trusted that someone, anyone, would carry their legacy forward." Thalen looked at the holograms, feeling the weight of the responsibility. The beacon is not just a warning. It is a call to action. Humanity could not finish the fight, but they believed others could. That is why we are here, the energy being stirred again, closer than before. Its presence was intimidating, yet it did not attack. It seemed to be observing, testing their reactions as if measuring their understanding of the human lessons. Barrack muttered, "They may have left this as a test, Captain. Not just to warn, but to see if we could learn, adapt, and prepare. We are part of the challenge now." Thalen nodded, a sense of determination settling over him. "Then we rise to the challenge. We honor humanity by applying what we learn. Creativity, adaptability, observation. We must think like they did, act with their foresight, and prepare for whatever comes next." The beacon pulsed brightly, as if acknowledging their resolve. The AI spoke one final time in the chamber. "You have begun to understand. Continue. Observe the unknown, adapt to every change, and apply human ingenuity. The predator approaches. Time will test your comprehension." The Xylar crew left the chamber, minds racing with new understanding. They had uncovered not just a warning, but a blueprint for survival, a record of human genius and a guide for facing the unknown. Every lesson, every hologram, every device had a purpose: to prepare, to teach, and to endure. As they moved back toward the ship's core, the subtle shimmer of the energy being followed them, almost as if the ship itself was alive, watching and guiding them. The beacon's pulse continued steadily, sending its light into the void. Humanity's ingenuity had survived centuries, and now it would guide a new generation of species to face dangers even humans could not confront directly. The challenge was clear: understand, adapt, and survive. And in the Quiani, the Xylar crew had spent cycles exploring the human ship, uncovering layers of technology, strategy, and intelligence. But now, the lessons of the beacon were about to face their ultimate challenge. The sensors on the Orion's eye flickered with readings that made even veteran crew members uneasy. An enormous energy signature, moving deliberately through the nearby star system. Captain Thalen studied the data, his tail flicking in concentration. "This must be the predator the beacon warned us about," he said quietly. "It's close and it's massive. Its energy patterns match every detail recorded by the humans." Ensign Ryla's three eyes widened as she examined the holographic projections. "Captain, the humans didn't just warn us. They designed simulations for us to practice. Every choice we've made, it's been preparing us. Now it's real." Varric adjusted the ship's sensors. "It's coming here, Captain. The readings are getting stronger, more defined. Whatever it is, it's intelligent. It's testing us, Thalen took a deep breath. Then we continued the test. Remember what the beacon taught us. Observation, adaptation, creativity. Humans survived by thinking differently. So must we. The ship's AI pulsed with activity. The Predator will evaluate all attempts at defense. Success requires thinking beyond standard logic. Apply human strategies, anticipate outcomes, and improvise. Failure will be decisive. Rila nodded. Captain, the beacon's lessons are more than theory. Humans anticipated failure and provided tools to recover. We must do the same. The crew moved into the ship's command chamber where interactive simulations flickered in the air. Each simulation mirrored potential real-world scenarios. Energy surges, attacks on vulnerable systems, and unexpected environmental changes. The AI guided them through the exercises, asking questions, presenting choices, and observing their reasoning. Varric traced a projection with his claws. Captain, the Predator doesn't just attack physically. It tests intelligence, strategy, and intuition. Humans survived because they could adapt faster than their foes. We need to think the same way. Thalen nodded. We combine our skills with the human lessons. Every choice counts. Every observation matters. Hours passed as the simulations became increasingly complex. The crew encountered scenarios where no single solution was correct, requiring improvisation and cooperation. Energy fields shifted unpredictably, holographic projections moved dynamically, and the AI constantly challenged their assumptions. Rila whispered, "It's as if the ship itself is alive, responding to our understanding." The humans left us not just instructions but a living test. Varric added, "They designed this to push anyone who found the beacon to the limit. We're learning by doing. Every success and every mistake teaches us." Finally, the simulations led the crew to the ship's lower decks, where the energy readings indicated the Predator's approach. The shimmering, semi-invisible presence they had sensed earlier moved closer, its patterns unpredictable but intelligent. "Captain," Varric said, "it's observing us directly. I think it's responding to how well we've applied the human lessons." Thalen took a deep breath. "Then we show it what we've learned. Humans relied on observation, creativity, and adaptability. We will do the same." The AI activated a holographic projection of the Predator. It was enormous, a swirling mass of energy and matter, capable of consuming worlds. Its movements were deliberate and calculating. The simulation forced the crew to predict its actions and respond in real time. Rila studied the projection. "Captain, we have to anticipate, not just react. Every move must consider the Predator's logic and its unpredictability. Humans would have done the same." Varric analyzed energy readings. The Predator avoids repetition. If we use predictable tactics, it will outmaneuver us. Creativity is key, Thalen nodded. We combine human foresight with our own instincts. Observe, adapt, and act decisively. The team split their efforts. Rila focused on predicting the Predator's movements, using patterns derived from the beacon. Varric manipulated energy fields, setting adaptive traps that could shift based on the Predator's response. Thalen coordinated the team, ensuring that every action complemented the others. The energy presence shimmered and shifted, testing the crew's strategies. Every time they succeeded, the Predator changed its approach, forcing them to adapt again. It was a living lesson in human ingenuity. Anticipate, improvise, and evolve continuously. Hours passed, and fatigue began to weigh on the crew. The Predator's presence was overwhelming, yet the beacon's guidance kept them focused. Every success, no matter how small, reinforced the importance of the lessons they had learned. Rila spoke quietly. "Captain, the beacon isn't just technology. It's teaching a mindset. The humans knew their methods would endure if someone applied them. That's what we're doing now, thinking like them, learning like them." Thalen nodded. "And that mindset is what will allow us to survive." The Predator's energy patterns grew more complex, forcing the crew to combine all their knowledge, creativity, and adaptability. They used holographic projections, energy traps, and predictive strategies derived from the beacon. Slowly, they began to influence the Predator's movements, guiding it into controlled areas without being harmed. Varric watched the Predator respond to their tactics. "Captain, it's working. The lessons are effective. Humans really prepared for the impossible. They're thinking." "It's brilliant," Rila smiled faintly. "They taught us to anticipate, to adapt, to cooperate. That's why the beacon still matters. It's a gift and we're proving we can use it." Thalen placed a hand on the console. The Predator is near, but it's also a test. Humans designed this beacon to prepare others for survival. We're learning, applying, and adapting. Humanity's ingenuity endures. The AI activated the final simulation, combining all previous challenges into one comprehensive test. The Predator moved in unpredictable patterns. Energy surges threatened to destabilize the ship, and environmental variables changed rapidly. The crew had to respond instantly, combining prediction, strategy, and creativity. Rila coordinated with Varek, adjusting energy fields and predicting the Predator's movements. Thalen guided the team, ensuring every action was synchronized. Slowly, the Predator's movements became more predictable, responding to their combined efforts. Varek exclaimed, "Captain, it's working. The Predator is being controlled without harm. We're applying human strategies effectively." Thalen nodded, a sense of pride swelling within him. This is why humans were extraordinary. They didn't rely on brute force, they relied on intelligence, creativity, and adaptability. And now their lessons are saving us. The AI spoke one final time, its voice calm and approving. "You have passed the initial stages of the test. Observation, adaptation, and ingenuity have been applied successfully. Continue to prepare, for the Predator will soon leave this test simulation and enter reality. Apply the lessons to survive," Rila exhaled in relief. "Captain, the beacon isn't just a warning. It's a preparation. The humans trusted that someone would carry their knowledge forward, and we're doing that now." Thalen's eyes were focused. This is just the beginning. The Predator will come, but we are ready. The beacon has taught us more than survival. It has taught us to think like humans. That mindset will be our greatest weapon. The energy being shimmered and receded slightly, as if acknowledging their progress. The AI pulsed, reinforcing the lessons with holographic projections and interactive scenarios. The crew knew the Predator was no longer a distant threat. It was approaching, testing them in every possible way. Thalen turned to the team. "Prepare for the final stage. The beacon has given us knowledge, strategies, and insight. The Predator will not wait. Every choice we make now will matter. Humans prepared for the impossible, and so will we." The beacon pulsed brighter, casting its light through the control chamber, illuminating the Xylar crew with a steady rhythm. Its message was clear: observe, adapt, and survive. Think creatively, act decisively, and trust your understanding of human ingenuity. Outside the ship, the stars remained indifferent, but the pulse of the beacon carried through the void. Humanity's legacy was alive in this moment, teaching, guiding, and testing a new generation of explorers. Captain Thalen clenched his claw. "The Predator is coming. We've learned from humans. We've applied their lessons, and now we rise to the challenge. The galaxy will see what humans created, and what we can achieve by following their guidance." And somewhere in the shadows of the lower decks, the subtle shimmer of energy shifted, moving closer, watching, waiting for the crew's next move. The test was far from over, but the Xylar team had learned what humans had always understood. Intelligence, creativity, and adaptability were the greatest weapons in the universe. The air inside the ancient human ship was tense. The Xylar crew gathered in the command chamber as the lights from the beacon pulsed faster, echoing like a heartbeat through the metal walls. The test was over. The real danger was coming. Captain Thalen stood in front of the main console. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "The Predator has crossed the outer system. It's coming straight for us." Varek, the engineer, adjusted the scanners. "Its energy signature is growing stronger. It's massive, Captain. Even larger than the human record suggested." Rila, the linguist, stared at the pulsing beacon. The humans knew this would happen. They didn't leave a warning for fear, they left it to prepare others. They believed someone out there would continue their fight. The ship's AI spoke softly through the intercom, its tone calm yet serious. "You have learned human strategies, adaptability, creativity, and cooperation. Apply them now. The Predator learns from every opponent. Only flexible thinking can ensure survival." Thalen nodded. "Understood. Everyone take positions. Remember what the beacon taught us. Humans never stopped trying, even when all odds were against them." The approach outside the ship, the Predator appeared like a living storm. Its form was ever-changing, dark matter and energy twisting together like smoke and lightning. It was not a creature of flesh or bone, but something ancient, powerful, and intelligent. It had destroyed many civilizations, and now it sought the human beacon. The Xylar crew watched as the Predator slowed its approach. Its presence pressed against their minds, a cold wave of curiosity mixed with hunger. Rila whispered, "It's not just a hunter. It's studying us," Thalen replied. "Then we study it too, just like the humans did." Varric activated the defensive systems. "Energy shields up. Let's see how long they last." The Predator moved closer, releasing a pulse of dark energy that shook the entire ship. Lights flickered, alarms screamed, and for a moment it felt as though space itself was folding. But the beacon's core brightened, releasing a stabilizing wave that balanced the energy flow. "The beacon is protecting us," said Rila. "It's reacting to the attack." Thalen's claws tightened on the console. "Or guiding us through it. Let's see if we can use it." The battle begins. The Predator attacked again, faster and harder. Energy arcs ripped through the void, striking the ship. Varric struggled to keep the systems from overloading. "Captain, we can't take many hits like that." "It's too strong." Thalen's mind raced. "Then we stop thinking like soldiers. We think like humans." He remembered one of the human recordings, an old Earth commander saying, "When you cannot win by power, win by mind." Thalen looked at Rila. "Can we project false energy signals?" She nodded quickly. "Yes, the humans use deception in warfare. We can simulate multiple ships to confuse the Predator." "Do it," Thalen ordered. Moments later, several holographic projections of the ship appeared around the area, each emitting the same energy signature as the original. The Predator paused, its movements uncertain, trying to choose a target. "It's working," Varric said, surprised. "It's hesitating," Rila smiled faintly. "Humans used illusion to win time. They made their enemies doubt themselves." The Predator fired at one of the projections, which vanished in an explosion of light. That gave the crew enough time to reposition the ship and prepare the next phase. "Redirect power to the rear thrusters," Thalen said. "We'll use the debris field for cover." The ship moved quickly through the broken remains of old asteroids. Each piece glowed faintly as it reflected the light of distant stars. The Predator followed, releasing tendrils of energy, searching for them. Thalen spoke quietly, as if thinking aloud. "Humans survived because they believed in ideas. They turned fear into strategy. Let's honor that." The human strategy inside the beacon's core, a holographic interface appeared. It showed the final message from the last human AI. The voice spoke softly, calm, and full of purpose. "If you are hearing this, then we are gone. But our ideas remain. The Predator cannot be destroyed by strength alone. It learns, adapts, and consumes. But it cannot understand courage, unity, or imagination. That is our weapon. Use it." Rila stared at the message. They believed that creativity could defeat something even this powerful. Thalen smiled. "Then that's what we'll use." Varric looked confused. "Creativity, Captain?" "Yes," Thalen said. "We'll make it think it's winning. We'll let it consume what it wants until it destroys itself." The crew began building a trap using what they learned from human tactics. They redirected energy from the beacon into a controlled field, creating a pattern that mimicked a collapsing star. The Predator, sensing immense power, moved closer to absorb it. "Just a little more," Rila said. "Let it believe this is its victory." The Predator expanded, drawing in energy greedily. The field tightened around it, compressing its mass and trapping part of its energy inside. Varric shouted, "It's working. It's destabilizing." Thalen's eyes glowed with determination. "Now release the beacon pulse." The beacon emitted a massive wave of light, pure, focused energy mixed with encoded human data. The wave collided with the Predator, and for the first time, it screamed, not with sound but with vibration, shaking every atom in the ship. The creature's form began to unravel, its patterns collapsing into itself. The beacon's pulse carried human algorithms designed to confuse adaptive enemies. The Predator, unable to process the complex creative chaos of human thought, began to fold inward. Varric shouted, "It's retreating." Rila's voice was soft. "No, it's learning. But it doesn't understand. It can't. The beacon's patterns are based on imagination and emotion, things it cannot mimic." The Predator's energy twisted violently, then vanished into a ripple of light, leaving silence behind.